I wonder whether it's life that shows you the pathway or it's your own desire or it's a combination. And I believe that it could be both. So, opportunities are always around. It depends on your point of view. It depends on your own attitude. It depends how you open your eyes and see them.
As a lifelong learner, Jurgita Šukevičienė understands that not all solutions are as simple as you would like, and that sometimes the best answers are found within the balance of change. Currently a politician in the Lithuanian Parliament, Jurgita considers her education as a driving force as she leads in her position by sharing challenges, embracing uniqueness, and keeping an open mind and attitude. Thank you for joining Lynn Foley, host of Remarkable Women, Powerful Stories, as we hear from Jurgita about her journey.
I grew up in a regular family and I had a loving parents. A couple of months ago, they have celebrated diamond marriage. The diamond marriage is 60 years anniversary. I can't believe it, really. So, the very regular family with one sister. I have one sister. And so as far as I remember, I was surrounded by respect, by tolerance, and by love. So I respected my parents, they respected me. And I really had regular childhood, some freedom for self-expression. And we were living in USSR back then, so the possibilities were really limited. So now I see my children, my sons growing up, and they have so much different possibilities than I had as a child. But then again, we were living in this world, and that was a fact. That was regular life. I'm proud of my parents, and I'm proud of my family, the way they raised me, the way I could have some normal, regular childhood.
When you were young, you had lots and lots of different dreams about what you might become as you got older. I wonder if you can explore these dreams and how your study and work pathways helped you achieve these, and I guess brought you to where you are today as in a very important and influential role.
This is funny because when you asked about dreams, I had to go back into my childhood because when you grow up, you don't think about them so much because, statistically, a child can name like 60 or more dreams in a very short period of time. He can just simply list them. And when you grow up and life hits you and you face the reality, then you forget all about it. And then you just follow your education, your family, your job, and your dreams are somewhere. And then your question just brought me back. And it hit me that, well, yes. So my first dream as a child, as a little girl, was who do you want to be when you grow up? Of course, a teacher. So I would ask younger neighbor girls. I would take dolls and teach them, put them in the desk, using Blackboard, taking notes. So yes, I was the teacher. And then, when grown up, I graduated for my university studies, French and English, philology, and my first job after graduation was a teacher, which I never left in my life, and it always goes in education field. And so it does go together with my dream. So one of my dream, we can say that it is kind of came true, very directly connected with the job I do now. And the second one that I recall is beautiful buildings, expensive guests, providing luxury services, like a beautiful hotel someplace.
Yes.
And so later on, I had some courses in Innovation Academy. That was a part of Baltic countries about services and innovations. And in one period of my life, I was a 4-star hotel manager. So again, I covered that part, seems like. Services, again, delivering services and working with people is, again, what we do every day. What you do every day, what I do every day. We serve people, we deliver services, we seek for quality, for nice communication and cooperation. So again, it's quite, it goes, it went on in line. And then there was another one. It was about skies. It was not often that you see the plane back when I was a child. So skies and planes were something magic for me. And I was thinking maybe I should go to work like a flight attendant or something. So it was always about people, about emotional intelligence, about delivering, cooperating, communicating. And so now my current position as a politician, it enables me to work internationally. So, which means that planes, again, this keyword, planes and skies, are on my agenda quite a lot now. So I'm using the services, the Sky services now, and so it was my education, because languages like French and English, and of course I'm fluent in Russian. We learned back at school, so also gave me this broader perspective. Like my mom said, you should work for some embassy or have some studies abroad. Again, working here in the parliament with the international agenda, it also relates to my dreams as a child. And again, thank you for bringing this up, because it never crossed my mind. I did follow my dreams. So really appreciate Zonta taking this information.
It was interesting hearing your dreams, Jurgita, because I too started life as a teacher and sort of kept doing that for a lot of my career. And I remember, and I found a photo of myself recently sitting in a chair with all the dolls lined up and the dogs, and doing the teacher thing when I was about 7 or 8. And, it was really quite funny when I saw that, and remembered my mother, when she got very old, used to say, "Oh, you're such a teacher." And whenever I was maybe getting a bit rough with her in terms of that. So it's really interesting you should say that.
I think that is something in the family, because my sister, she is a teacher of Lithuanian language for over than 30 years. So we are kind of bound together by this education file. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So you just referred to it in passing, and I know obviously you're a lifelong learner, and you've had a range of different study pathways in other countries, often, not just in your home country of Lithuania. And I wonder how those study and those experiences you've had contributed to your development as this national and global leader that you are now. So in your role as a parliamentarian in your country, you're very much a national and global leader. So how did your study help you get there?
It does. It's non-stop process. I think it's non-stop process, and life learning is something that should be a driving force for everybody. I think we have so many opening possibilities for every age, every nationality, any language you want. So just take the opportunity. So it is a driving force for me, and I've just graduated in January. It's February now, time runs. In January, I just graduated my second master's on integrated communication. And I had my master's thesis, very, very timely, the role and effectiveness of communication challenge in enhancing community resilience to threats. Well, geopolitical threats are clear to, it doesn't matter the geographical location, it's worldwide. So, and I was like happy, because I don't have studies, exams, and especially master thesis in the evenings, so I can have some time off. But guess what? I'm trying now. I'm looking for another course and I'm thinking, what's next? What's now? So I think it's the learning, it's in my blood. I mean, I have this need to learn every time, because whether you go to university or vocational school or some other schooling or education institution, there is so many things that you don't know. Well, I know I you cannot be good at everything, but the possibilities are tremendous, really. So it happens in different countries. I've had uh, the privilege, I'd say, to have some studies in Europe. What it was Baltic countries and France, in Nordics, in Scandinavia or UK. But these countries I named are culturally close, so you don't see such big differences from Lithuania. But let's say USA or India, that also had some chances to study there, the diversity there is really remarkable, and that was really valuable, and that gives you added value, because you meet different nationalities, different people, and they all teach you something. So studying in different countries gives you more open. You're more open-minded and culturally aware. And then you get to respect, you get to be more tolerant, you get to respect diverse perspectives. You get to be more flexible, to adapt quickly to new environments, because in New Delhi it's so different. The culture, food and security and everything is different there, and you learn not to communicate effectively with people from different backgrounds, not to judge. So again, the experiences of lifelong learning, not only inside the country but abroad, if you have the opportunity, so strengthen tolerance and increase critical thinking, and also the ability to lead both national and global contexts. And it's really that it gives me added value to my current positions, because it's a great deal of my current agenda, and say students around me, because I have a student son myself, but I know a lot of students, so I always encourage them to go abroad. It's not that the grass is greener on the other side, no. Or yes, for some people, I'm fine with that too, but just to see, just to experience, explore, not to judge, not to be judgmental, but just to think, and go back and collect this experience that is very needed for every, not only youngster pupil, but also for all kind of age, for seniors as well.
Absolutely. And continue to learn no matter what our age. So moving into your career pathway, particularly in politics, I think it'll be really interesting to our audience to hear you talk about your career in politics, because you've done a number of things in your political career to bring you to your current role. And, at the moment, you're a member of the Lithuanian Parliament, you're chair or deputy chair of some committees, and you have lots of opportunities in Europe and beyond to influence. So just give us a little bit of a view of that pathway that you've taken.
Yes, well, I wonder whether it's life that shows you the pathway, or it's your own desire, or it's a combination. And I believe that it could be both. So, opportunities are always around. It depends on your point of view. It depends on your own attitude. It depends how you open your eyes and see them. So my career in politics, I started working in the local government in a PR department as a specialist. So I got to meet local politicians, council members, mayors, foreign delegations, and that part, I felt I'm good at. I can do a lot and I can do better. Then I went for local council for elections. I was rated pretty low in the list, so I didn't succeed at the first time, which is very nice because then you try, then it's your rehearsal, and then the second time you reach your goal. So I was elected next time as a council member, and I was appointed as a vice mayor. So I did both in the local government. So I was responsible for soft skills, managing soft skills, and which are education, science, sports, culture, health, foreign affairs, public relations. I think it's pretty youth, of course, and social area. And so it was very nice experience to collect from local government to bring it up to national government. And so now it's my second year here in the parliament. So I can see that with active parliamentary work, because I am considered as an active MP here. So, and especially and particularly as a chair of Education and Science Committee, because education is the foundation of everything. It's for future developments, for achievements, for innovations. It's the file is very broad, and you can pick up almost any subject, and it has education in it. So that I bring for my job, and also being a member of European Affairs Committee. That's foreign politics, which is also essential in connecting, because we see examples from EU countries and worldwide. And I noticed that, a decade ago, we were just learning from other countries. We're learning from Nordics, from Finland, to have better education system where teachers are more valued and so on. And now we can share experience. It can be other way around. Other countries can learn from Lithuania, and that is very good news, because we're a new democracy, and we did a lot of work on this within these decades. So my responsibilities here in Parliament also, I'm a deputy chair of Social Democratic Political Group, and we are the big majority in Parliament, which means that we can connect with our political families abroad as Social Democrats, and also bring what is actual topics from our agenda, sharing with European political families. And also we have clear priorities clearly defined in our government program. So we are following. And also being a member of various working groups, whether it's for the future of European Union or some educational assessments and so on, as well as inter-parliamentary relations. As I said, we have a lot of inter-parliamentary friendship groups in Seimas in our parliament, and I'm a chair of this group with France. I'm a co-chair with the group with Canada, and I'm a member of inter-parliamentary friendship groups for a lot of countries, starting from Japan to Israel and European countries and so on. And also the influence or the impact or the voice, especially the voice for Europe, across the Europe and beyond Europe. There are various channels. The channels I mentioned before, just right now, and also we have different membership. As Lithuanian, I'm a member of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, and there is a lot of topics, a lot of common topics going on there, and the intensive engagement in international cooperation, contributing to debates, reports, political initiatives. This is also not only representing position of Lithuania, but also sharing experiences and learning from colleagues. As I said, we give and we receive. Yes. So we learn from colleagues from across the Europe and other countries. And then when you have this temperature, the temperature, then you can shape common responses to shared challenges, because challenges, they vary country to country, but there is a base that are the same challenges, which is climate warming, which is defense and security. So learning, aging society, the challenges are pretty much common. And in this, in this world of uncertainty, if I may put the wording, we are only strong together, working together and bringing our strengths and capabilities. But at the same time, we should keep our identities and uniqueness. So and this balance and this combination can work well together.
Yeah, that's lovely. So thank you. It's really interesting to hear that from your position these days. Can I turn now to education and the notion of education equality? How do you bring your educational experience and perhaps that of your family members to your role in government to make a difference to education equality? Because we know that it's still a significant challenge. Zonta works very hard in that space. And just a little bit of information about your views there.
Well, it's as we're speaking now, it's 11th of February, and it happens to be the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. So very, very good timing for the PASCAD. Yes, because the United Nations General Assembly have proclaimed this day to recognize and promote full and equal participation of women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics field. And that is what it is about. So I'm very happy we're doing this podcast on this special day, and it means great lot of significance. And and when it comes to education equality and my experience, again, working as a teacher and lecturer, because I covered both public and private sectors. I was working as a lecturer and interpreter as well. So, seeing both public and private gives you knowledge and perspective. And as I mentioned before, I worked in the local government as a vice mayor, responsible for education and all range of soft skills. So again, I brought it into my current position, into my current work. But speaking of challenges, if we can say, well, it's not common only for Lithuania, but as I said, across Europe, small city and regions, or big cities and rural areas. So the existence of small schools is challenged in Lithuania, especially, but it's the same in the EU, by declining birth rates and aging population. We can elaborate on this a little bit more, but so it's not unique to Lithuania. It's everywhere, and population data show that fertility rates, that is very worrying. In the EU, it is quite below the replacement level, which is about 2.1 children per woman average in EU countries. While in Lithuania, it has dropped dramatically, and the latest statistics shows that proves that we have the average of 0.9 child per woman. 0.9. And that is bad news for our country, because we have aging society, people age 65 and over, and it continues to rise. So it means fewer children. It means that existence of small schools in the suburbs, in the regions, in the rural area, not to mention the pressure on our social system. So these are have pressure to merge or close smaller schools. So every country looking for every country and city and then local governments, municipalities, they're looking for policy solutions. They're looking for their own recipes to preserve education access. And so they can maintain vibrant communities, because the community is healthy when there is an educational institution, a hospital, and a church. That's what we have, this holy trinity from the old school. We still joke about it, right? So support for families is really needed. And in Parliament, here in the Parliament of Lithuania, we're working to address these education demographic challenges by learning from practices from other European countries. And these practices and these discussions include how to support families, how to improve regional development, and ensure that small schools can continue to serve their communities and ensure education equality. And last term, we made a decision in our parliament to keep 14 small schools, to find some extra funding, to release, to make laws more flexible for a number of children, number of pupils in the classes, so they can survive, so they can work, they can keep the communities vibrant. So I think that this experience from local government, because you bring them into national, and then from yourself you had to deal with it. So now we can be our own masters, for lawmaking.
That's right. So in that, you touched on the notion of an aging society, and which I'm part of, and so in the statistics and that you just brought forward about the fertility or birth rate at this end, and you've got aging society at the other end, what do you think needs to be done so we don't lose the wisdom and experience of the older generation in the workforce? Because it seems to me we're in a position of needing to keep older workers in some way, shape or form in the workforce because of the imbalance between aging and younger generations. So where do you think that is? Just, a short comment on that would be lovely.
Well, I think that it's the common challenge for most higher or high income countries. So it's aging society are creating, challenges for labor market, for public finances and for social systems. And, combining with the birth rates fall and low birth rates, there are, fewer working age individuals to replace retiring employees. And that increased pressure for pensions, healthcare, essential services. And on the other hand, there is a real risk of losing valuable institutional memory. And because seniors, they bring in institutional memory, skills, and leadership. If they leave the workforce too early, say it is a problem. And I see now the shift of employees, even more in private sector, because public sector we do have guarantees for seniors. But for private sector, they're much more flexible. They're aiming for young professionals.
Yes.
Young professionals are there for very efficient work and so on. But there are pros and cons for all sides, and the advantages and disadvantages. Because, say, young professionals, they're good, and I love them. But seniors, they have they have this institutional memory, and they have loyalty. And I think loyalty is one of the key differences comparing to young professionals. They're chased by salary, they're headhunted, which is the competition is really high, and that is fine. but somehow the employees now, they shift to value, and I'm very happy about it. They shift to value seniors because of the, very simple human reasons. They have brought their children up, right? They have grandchildren, which they're coming for weekends. They're less on sick leaves because if the health condition is good, and if they're keeping pretty much healthy lifestyle, and if there is no some specific disease like cancer or whatever, right? So they're more stable. They're more loyal to the company, to the institution, and
That's right.
this should be balanced as well. And say now in Lithuania the statutory retirement, old age pension is now 65 for both women and men from January 2026. And it was different. It was 62 women, 63 men, and so on. So it grew gradually, and now it's equalized for both genders. And we have this in order to get your retirement, your pension, you are required social insurance record of 34.5 years, and it's rising up to 35 years by 2027. So you need to have, in order to get the retirement, you need to work for 35 years. And so these changes were legislated by the parliament and government to address democratic pressures.
So Jurgita, is it all about balance? In the end, we're talking about balance between generations and each learning from the other and all of that. So I think that's a very valuable piece. And, we're all living longer, generally speaking, if we stay healthy. So I think we'll continue to have those challenges. And where I sit, I just think we should embrace all age groups and
yes,
and
all age groups. And if I may add, it's all genders, and to promote lifelong learning. That's the key word, to provide flexible working arrangements, opportunities for gradual retirement. So older employees, they can remain active longer in the labor market, and different investments and mentorship programs. So with younger colleagues, reskilling on digital training and so on. So there are many opportunities, but then again, it's easier said than done. That's the point.
So as we're starting to move towards the end of our conversation today, I have two more questions to pursue fairly quickly. The first one is, continuing that theme into gender, what do you think needs to be done locally and nationally to make sure the issue of gender equality doesn't continue to regress? Because many of us see the gains made in previous decades starting to be eroded for women, particularly in the gender space. So a couple of ideas of what you think we have to do differently, both as an individual and as a group.
Well, that's a very good questions about gender equality and women in the running positions and in different whether it's public or private. So despite the progress over recent decades, it's really progress. So it really deserves some kind of applause, but still, women, in some areas, women remain underrepresented when it comes to political leadership, locally and nationally. And just a couple of facts, a couple of figures. So now we have 141 member in the Parliament of Lithuania, and 39 of them are women. So the number is increasing, but still it's less than third. It's less than currently 27 something of Lithuanian MPs are women. Why? Is it about education? No. Is it about, family life, combining family life, daring, or trying to overcome different obstacles or prejudices or whatever kind of the answer? And say, we're ranking, Lithuania is ranking in the average of member states. Say we have, speaking about politics, we have 14 ministries, and 5 of them ministers are women, and we also have prime minister. So I'm happy with that. That is good. That's fine. But European Parliament, it's it's not so terrific. It's EU Parliament. Women are about 37%, which is also not bad, not bad. But I think the situation. I haven't checked the EU countries for local governments, but in Lithuania, out of 60 municipalities, the local governments, only 6 have female mayors, and that's only 10%, which is I don't know why we don't trust local governments for ladies. I mean, they have all the qualities we need. So it is fragile, really. And what shall we do, really? What to do? So we should strengthen support in various formats, strengthen support to women political participation. Make favorable conditions so they can speak out, they can go, they can manifestate, they can speak. Addressing the barriers to leadership role and of course promoting gender balanced decision making in all levels of government. And as I said, the situation isn't that bad. It's really good. And if we speak in Lithuania in general, in a broader context for gender equality, so the index score is about 61% out of 100. So Lithuania ranks really in the middle among EU member states. That is, as I said, we're a young democracy and we did terrific things, really. So we're not going to very into details and any deep, like what is about scientists and engineers. That's quite a lack, right? ACT is also the role of female representation. It's pretty low. But if we see public sector like civil service, security, police forces, army, we don't have mandatory conscripts for women in Lithuania, but the volunteer numbers are growing so much. I'm very proud about it because we have women volunteering in various structures of the army. And the numbers are increasing basically every month, And when it comes to police, or private security, the numbers of female representation are growing so much that, say, in some police headquarters in smaller places, in smaller cities or towns, there are 50-50 police men and police women. And
that's good. That's great.
It's also, it's great. And also it applies for ministries in administrative roles and decision-making positions, heads of departments. There's high numbers of women in ministries. Education, take education. Oh, that is terrific numbers. Almost the total majority of headmasters or kindergarten principals, they're women, they're ladies. Female and teachers in Lithuania, I don't know, 95% of teachers are women, except for physical training, maybe, or some engineering.
That brings us a different problem, doesn't it, Jurgita, in that we don't have enough male presence in education, and that's fairly typical around most of our societies. So again, here we're still facing a bit of a glass ceiling and prejudice and not thinking that women are capable as decision makers in some places, I understand. So I guess we just have to keep encouraging women to apply and getting men to work with us to open a space. In heading to close this conversation, I have one more question. What are your superpowers as a leader?
Superpowers.
Are you remarkable? What is it that makes you who you are? Just a couple.
Yeah, well, all of us have superpowers, so some secrets to discover. But as I said, I'm a politician and I'm elected in the Alytus city constituency. That is 120 kilometers away from capital Vilnius. So I have two offices, and I operate in two cities, and I also try to cover more of the country. So my schedule is tight, and it's organized not by days but hours. And some meetings overlap, and it's hard to find time. But what I always believe and never give up is people. And I think it's my greatest strength. I genuinely value people. And I believe that the open communication in terms of not listening, but hearing, this is grounded in strong emotional intelligence and empathy for people. And these qualities help building me trust, because that's what I work with people. I work for people. So it builds me trust and bridge differences and bring diverse voices into decision making, not to mention drawing energy from communication, from engaging in people in every situation, and trying not to judge or exclude anyone based on social status, gender, or religion, or income. And just a quick example from my yesterday meetings. And I took part into a science and career fair. There's for universities represented and businesses. And I met a lot of youngsters, students, educators there. And I got back home in the evening, and I got the message on my phone, and the message said, "You are the most active person I know. How can you be everywhere in such a limited time?" And this message, it was like, believe me, it was such a booster for me. Like, yeah, they noticed. They noticed I care, that people noticed I'm there for them. So this commitment to inclusion and respect really allow me to lead with credibility at home and to represent my country with the integrity on the global stage. I think so.
That's fabulous, Jurgita. It's lovely to hear you express it in those terms. Do you have any messages for our listeners today? Just one message.
One message. Well, I think I can say that trust in your values and never lose sight of who you are. Be who you are. Your identity, your culture, in the people you serve, going along with their expectations and needs. Because leadership is about giving and serving others, but it's just as important to care for yourself, to invest in yourself, in learning, education, personal growth, interest, and to see happiness in every small detail, every moment, to balance your life, to have a balance of your life, because life is like a zebra, challenges and joys. It's never boring and always unique. My message is to embrace both with curiosity, resilience, and hope. That's the message for today.
Jurgita, I thank you so much, and I wish you well as you continue to have the significant influence you have in your country and beyond, and making a difference for everyone, including women and girls around you in all the things we've discussed today. And Zonta International thanks you for your time and your ongoing commitment to our causes as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.